Good evening, my viewers. This is George Ondek, and I have two guests with me tonight. I have Susan Haywood, not the actress Susan Haywood, but Susan Haywood from Peekskill and Little Orphan Animals. And I have a lovely feline friend named Fran, or I call her Franny, who needs a home. I came across her about a week ago at PetSmart, where Little Orphan Animals keeps about a dozen cats who don't have homes. And her story was so heartwarming.
Yes.
She lost her mommy. Her mother died. She's a very affectionate cat. What kind of cat is she, Susan?
We call them domestic long hair. I mean, she could be Maine Coon mix. You know, it could be a lot of things.
Somebody told me she was of the Russian variety.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Who would know that?
But Fran, I'm calling you Fran. And we have another cat friend there.
That's right.
If you feel lonely, you
Yes.
can. That cat there, and face him towards the camera, Susan, reminds me and my wife so much of Phantom, a cat we had. He's the same exact colors.
Had some black on the face.
And that's why we called him Phantom. He had a black mask like this cat. And we have a big bear that looks like Ted from the movie Ted. And he sits in his lap while our cat Phantom. No, Kitten Caboodle. We call him the Kitten Caboodle.
That's a good
sits
name.
in my wife's lap while we're watching television.
I have to remember
But we
that.
came across this cat, and he was so affectionate. We were petting him through the bars of the cage. And she needs a home.
She does.
And tell us more about Little Orphan Animals and getting a home for homeless cats, feral cats.
Well, feral cats don't belong.
Cats,
yes, we'll stick with the homeless, the ones that are adoptable.
I hear some doggies too. Is
that
true?
Yeah, occasionally we do get a home for a dog. They're a little more difficult because it's a not-for-profit, all volunteers.
Right.
So, you know, taking care of all the cats is a big job. You need people to come in twice a day.
And they volunteer.
All volunteers.
They volunteer.
At PetSmart, and then also they have another shelter in Peekskill with about 30 cats, and we need the same thing, people to come in. Little Orphan Animals.
Do you need volunteers? If a person wanted to volunteer for your organization,
they should give us a call.
Where would they call?
At the hotline.
Which
is 914-736 2989. May I check my card for that?
Yes, you can check your card. We'll let you check notes on the show. Just don't lose your microphone while you're doing that. And Franny, how you doing? See the TV camera? Say, somebody out there, please adopt me.
I'm sorry, I gave the wrong number. It's 914-734-2989.
Okay, would you repeat that one more time?
914-734-2989. And we're also having a tag sale at the Cortland Community Center on April 27th from 10 a.m. to 3, and that's at Westbrook Drive, and we need donations for that.
And that's a non-for-profit organization.
Every penny goes for the animals.
Franny, you're going to be a good girl.
Is she digging into you?
You're not going to dig them nails into me, are you?
Look at her. She's being so good.
Warm?
The reason we're having a hard time placing Fran is because, well, her other nickname is the Queen Bee.
Queen Bee.
She wants to be the only cat. And she was adopted, but she wants to be the only one. So.
Well, you can't blame her.
No, but so many people have animals.
We have a cat home, my wife and I, named Kitten Caboodle. I adopted her from a lady. I'll say her name was Michelle.
Okay.
She was behind a Dunkin' Donuts with a donut box, and I thought I was getting a free donut.
I know you like your Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
you've
heard that, huh?
I see you there.
And instead, I see these cute little 6 kittens, orange and white, only as big as my hand. And she says, George, could you take one home? And I says, well, of course. But I tell you what, I'll take them home, and if my wife doesn't like them, I'll be back in a half hour. So I walk in the house, and my wife says, what is that you have? Because she had our cat in her lap. I says, he's a little fellow who needs a home, and he's going to be my cat.
Oh, 'cause
so
she had
he's staying. She says, okay, well, if you insist. So that's how we wound up with 2 cats. And for the longest time, he and the other cat did not get along.
No.
They both wanted to possess my wife,
Yeah.
by the way. And then, unfortunately, one of them passed away. And from that day on, he's been like this cat.
Yeah.
Loves to lie in people's laps and be cultivated.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you a funny story about cats. And
Is he being she's being all right? You want me
she
to switch?
wants to move a little bit. But I got to tell you a funny aside. You know, my wife really loves that cat. You know why? She has a sign under the telephone. Lost 1 husband and 1 cat. Reward for cat. So does that tell you who's number one in the family?
It does. It does.
And we were talking about how cats love the outdoors and the sunshine. She lies by the window. When we say she went to Miami Beach, she just suns herself for 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 hours a day.
They love to
sometimes.
lay in the sun.
And they love to sleep. And aren't they a beautiful companion?
They are.
Especially to...
And she's playful, you know.
She is?
Yes.
Does she play with a ball?
She plays with a
All right.
mouse.
Oh, with a mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hold the tail and she bats it. Hi, Fran.
Hi, Franny. Franny, say hello to the people on TV out there. Say, please, will you adopt me?
Oh, she's watching you.
I want a home.
You look beautiful, Fran.
I want a home. And do I have a way with cats?
You do.
I just met her, except for seeing her in the store.
Yeah, right.
And I said,
And yeah, she went right
but
to
the
you.
story was so heartwarming.
I know. But that's how a
I
lot of...
lost my mommy. She died.
Yeah.
Will somebody please adopt me?
I know.
Will we have the same success that we had a dozen years ago
I hope
when
so.
we had Giorgio and Freddie on
Right.
the show?
Those 2 kittens got adopted.
I seem to remember an hour or 2 after the show, both were adopted.
That's right.
But tonight, we don't only want her adopted. How many more kittens or cats?
The shelter has about 30 cats that they're
Yeah.
trying to get homes for. And, you know, unfortunately, the kittens fly out. But when you get the cats where the
Yeah.
owner passed away
Yeah.
or somebody's allergic, it's hard to place them. But Little Orphan Animals, you know, has a good
But
track record on doing
let's say there's
that.
a widow out there
Yeah.
or a widower who's
Right.
very lonely.
Right, perfect. That's
I
what she
mean,
wants, a lap.
Look at this.
Aww.
She loves to kiss.
Yes, she's doing
She
so
purrs.
good, right?
I mean, she's more affectionate to me than my own cat that I clean his box. I feed him 3 times a day. And when he sits across from us when we're eating dinner, I don't know if this is good or not. We have to give him a little morsel because
Well,
whatever we're eating, he has to
Ye-
have. And he feels like he's one of the family.
As long
Franny,
as
how
it's
you
just a
doing?
little morsel.
How do you like the studio here? You're going to be a star.
She's doing wonderful. You know, she's been in the cage at PetSmart. I'm sure that's what she misses.
Maybe you want
is
to
a
take
lap.
her for a while, Susan?
Sure, Fran. Come here, baby. Oh,
She's
she wants
growling
you.
a little. Oh,
Uh-oh.
does she favor males? do you
Maybe,
think?
maybe.
Then-
All right, Fran.
Oh, and she's
Too much light.
Yeah, and she's a pretty healthy cat.
Maybe
too.
she liked your bigger lap better than mine. Yeah, no,
But,
she's healthy. All the cats are, you know, spayed, neutered, up to date on vaccines.
Oh, okay. So there is a little charge, but
Yes,
you-
95,
You
yes.
spade, you neuter, and you
We-
make sure the cat is healthy.
Yes, and they are tested for the AIDS and leukemia
Now,
virus. They're
If
wormed.
someone decides to adopt a cat, you do a pretty good background
Yes,
check on
yes,
them,
we
right?
do. Check
And-
with their vet.
And if, let's say, it doesn't work out after a month or so, is the person allowed to bring the
Yes,
cat back?
absolutely.
Hey, Fran, how you doing? You want a rubber ball to play with or a little mousing?
She's liking the scratching.
Oh, does she have a scratching board too?
Not
Now-
in, not at
Now,
PetSmart,
the
but
cats that are in the cages at PetSmart, do they get allowed to get out
Yes.
once in a while, walk
When
around,
I go to
get
feed,
some
yep.
exercise?
yes, they do. We can let them out as long as it's not one that
No, I
wants
miss
to hide.
having a cat, so
Oh, okay.
I'm going to bring this cat over with me. But you don't have to adopt this guy.
Yes,
This
yes.
is the one that needs a
Yes,
home.
Fran needs it.
Now, Susan, how many years have you been doing this now?
Actively since 1998.
And I have to tell you another aside about my experiences with cats and why I got to live like them.
Yes.
When I was a young boy, I lived in a tenement in Yonkers, kind of poor, you know. And my father worked a full-time job on the railroad, and he worked a part-time job at night in a deli. And he would get cold cuts like liverwurst, salami, bologna. And we had 3 cats who would scratch on my back door, and I would open the door and give them
And-
these delicacies. And those were feral
Yes,
cats.
yeah.
And speaking of feral cats, they're cats that live outside. They don't have a home.
No.
Now, I hear you have something to do with controlling them in Peekskill.
Yes, we have a trap neuter return program going, and it's working out very well. The cats get spay neutered, rabies vaccinated, and their ear is tipped so that we know that they're all done.
But you don't believe in killing any animals,
No.
do you? Killing cats?
No.
Or the kind word they say, culling out the herd,
Yeah.
such as with Canadian geese or with deer.
Right.
They want to. They think it's humane to shoot deer with a bow and arrow.
I know. That's
Would they
very-
like it? Let's say somebody shot them.
Yes.
And they went into the woods half wounded.
I know.
With an arrow in them. And that's happened. I
My
don't
s-
think that's very humane.
No, it is not at all.
And suppose people decide to, quote unquote, cull out people because there were too many of them. Would they
Well,
like that?
it's true. I mean,
But I hear some leaders, like maybe the Korean leader,
Oh, my goodness.
would like to do that. And they
Yes.
do that by starting wars.
yeah.
But it's horrible.
It is.
Of any of God's creatures, and these are God's
Yeah.
creatures, cats, dogs, Canadian geese, that horrible person who was a football quarterback who used
Oh,
dogs for a Vic
Michael
was
Vick,
his name,
yeah.
and he's still idolized.
I know.
And he made $100 million in a contract.
I know. Dog fighting is really a
Yeah.
cruel,
and using
cruel
a
sport.
dog as a bait for a little dog for bigger. How could anybody be so cruel and humane?
I don't know.
And
I
I'll
don't
give
know
you
how they
another
can watch
example
that.
of how people graduate from killing animals to killing people. I lived near the Son of Sam in Yonkers. And you know how he got started out with killing?
Animals.
He was shooting dogs off his terrace, they found out later on.
Well,
Then he
a
tried
lot
to
of them
blame
have
the
that
dogs for giving him the orders for
Oh,
killing
that's
people.
right. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The dog was talking to him.
But so when is that fundraiser? And and your organization is a strictly non-for-profit,
Correct.
and all the money goes towards the care of these animals
And the vet bills.
and the vet bills and the feeding of
Yes. Feeding, litter,
them. Litter. Oh yeah, that's an
lights,
important job.
heat,
Yeah,
in the shelter.
Do you have a physical building you keep them in Peekskill?
Yeah, they do. It's down near Water Street.
Oh, okay.
And we have to, have volunteers that come in twice a day and do that.
And
It's a
if
lot of
people
cleaning.
think that's a lot, all you require is an hour or two a day, 2 or
Correct.
3 times a
Yes.
week? So if people truly love animals,
If somebody could only do one day, one shift, that's
you'd
wonderful.
even do,
Yeah.
right. And they clean them, they be with them
Yes.
for a while.
Yes.
They're
Yep.
with them. They
Yeah,
give
you
them,
have
hey,
to do their litter boxes.
you all excited about being on television?
She's doing
baby?"
wonderful. I think she is sitting so still, but I
Yeah.
think she misses a lap.
She's a lap cat.
Yes, and she hasn't been in one.
And
but
that's
she's
funny.
been in the cage.
Sometimes I see our cat walking on the floor, and I see he's a little lonely.
Yeah.
I say to him, kitten caboodle, jump up into your mommy's lap. You're a lap cat,
That's
lap
it.
cat. And I snap my fingers
And up she
jumps-
goes.
Yeah.
She does?
Yeah. Oh, if I snap my fingers and say roll over just like a dog, she rolls over.
No.
So if people think cats aren't affectionate,
Oh, they are.
Some people got the wrong opinion
They
about
do.
cats.
Oh,
That
they just sit there.
kill mice and
Yes.
stuff
Yeah.
like that and
No.
rats, and that's not true. Although they do always have that hunting instinct. in
Yes,
them.
they do, and
And
that's
they
why
can't
they
help
play.
that.
Yeah.
And that's why, too, Peekskill, I will say one thing about Peekskill tonight. You don't want to get rid of too many feral cats.
Well,
Because we could get overrun by feral rats.
That's right.
And then what would the problem
Right.
be? But-
well, the program really cuts down on the amount of feral cats that are out there.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And if you try and remove them all, more move in. It's called the vacuum effect, and
But
it's
it
been
gets me
studied.
so mad, Susan,
Yeah.
when not county executive, county parks department employees, town supervisors down in Mamaroneck and Scarsdale, and I don't use this word very often, but get so hell-bent on killing geese, killing their babies,
Right, the deer.
killing deer. The county, Mr. Tartaglia,
Yeah.
one of the Parks Department's employees, gives out certificates for people to thin out the herd of deer,
Yeah.
and to also, they gave a death knell order out for 570 Canadian geese that they killed at Sprain Lake Golf Course in
Yeah,
Yonkers.
I know.
And they did not tell the people till after it happened. And I am shocked at the DEC. The DEC, which is supposed to protect all animals, seems to have gone into the business of making money by killing animals. They charge the county, they charge Scarsdale recently, or Mamaroneck, for just idling the eggs
I
now.
know. Yeah.
Now, I'm not really for idling the eggs either, because my wife and I were senior citizens. We love going by the seashore this time of the year, seeing a mother goose, a father goose, and 4 or 5 little ones.
And they're
come up
mates for
to us.
life.
And they mate for life, and they're so protective. And what about people with little children? I'm going to give you an incident in Ossining at the waterfront. We're sitting there with the geese and with the little ones. Some horrible young girl, about 10 or 11 or 12 years old, comes running up, grabs one of the babies, and throws it into the
my
water.
God.
And then you see on News 12 the
Yeah.
geese flapping.
Yeah.
They only flap their wings, and they only have beaks that just could close
Right,
on you. They
right.
can't hurt
Right,
you.
right.
And they were so
Upset.
terrified.
Yes, sure.
And what is wrong with parents who let children abuse animals?
Yeah.
Because if you're an animal abuser when you're little, you may be a wife abuser or a killer when you grow
Or
up.
a child abuser.
But let me let you talk a little bit.
I'm listening to you,
Who is
George.
the head of the little orphan
There is a board.
Yes.
I know that Jesse Smith was one of the co-founders
Right.
20 years ago. So
Is
they've
there a
been
Mrs.
around.
Mr. Pristash or something? I hear.
Susan Pristash.
What does she do?
She's also on the board.
Uh-huh.
They have it's only 2 of them right now, and so
Right.
they've got a lot of work.
Right.
All the letters, all the fundraising, the raffles, the tag sale.
So it must take quite a bit of money to feed 30 or 40
Oh yeah,
cats.
yep. We're
to
always
get-
looking for canned
do you,
friskies.
do you want donation of canned
Yeah,
foods?
canned friskies
Uh-huh.
and Purina Pro Plan dry is what we feed. We don't like
And this
to mix.
is not an advertisement for PetSmart or anything.
No,
but
absolutely
they are
not.
so kind in donating space.
Yes.
So people can come when on Sundays.
Well, the cats are there all week, so they
All
can be
week.
viewed. But
When can they be adopted?
well, that depends on who's ever sponsoring the animal. Fran, you want to go back in a little bit? Oh, okay. I think her
Maybe
paw
she-
was caught.
Oh, hi, Fran. Everything's all right. Don't growl. Everything's going to be all right. We're going to give you some food and some water. And
Each
we're going to get you a home.
Each cat there has a sponsor. So
Right.
if you were interested, there's a name and a number, and you would call.
Right.
And then we do a vet check.
And isn't it
and
funny
we do a
how I
home
got
delivery.
in contact with you again? I thought you were the sponsor
That's
because I
right.
said I saw Susan.
Right.
But I called your phone number
Yes.
because I remembered you
Yes.
from the last show.
Yeah. Yeah, Susan Pristash is actually sponsoring Fran.
Uh-huh.
And on Saturday, there is a volunteer there, usually from 12 to 4.
And we're talking about the PetSmart on Route 6 in Cortland Manor. And there's a volunteer.
Yep, who comes there, and so if people want to open the cage, pet the animal.
Now, is Mrs. Zwick involved with your organization?
Mrs. Zwick.
I forgot her first name.
I don't know, Wick.
But Zwick, she's a very nice lady. And I see her there on Sunday afternoons.
Oh, Joanne. Yes.
Joanne, yes.
She's with
She was
Paws for Love.
Well, they're good too.
Yes,
Paws
yes,
for
yes.
Love. Oh, I had somebody from Paws for Love on.
That's right.
And I don't want my viewers to get the wrong idea. I do not run a XXX show here or a R-rated. Paws for Love.
That's right.
PAW.
That's right.
And
That's
they were similar to your. They're a good organization too.
Yep.
And so is Forgotten Felines.
Yeah.
And North Shore Animal League. How's she doing?
She's doing good.
She is doing good. She being a good girl.
She's watching.
Suppose I get this one guy in. You're gonna kiss
She
this
said,
guy?
"No, I don't want any other cat. I want to be the queen bee."
You want to get this guy? Suppose I get after you a little bit. Hey, does she like being rubbed over?
She
here?
likes, yeah.
Well, how about
under
her
there?
too? How about over here?
Oh, the tail's going up,
Yeah.
the rear end's
What
going
does
up.
that mean? When
I don't know, but the cats do like that.
I know. Our cat
She
likes
is
it
so
too. If I
soft.
get out of a shower and I'm getting dressed and I have my bare foot, they love me rubbing their foot. They are such affectionate. People don't realize that cats are as affectionate as dogs. And you don't
They
have
may not listen as good.
no, they're very independent. It has to be their way
That's
or the
right.
highway.
That's
Like a
it.
lot of politicians, it
That's
has to be their way or the highway.
Right. She's doing great.
You're doing good, baby. Huh? You want this other cat? You don't like
Well, you know, cats are not even native.
to America?
No.
How did they come to America?
The Europeans brought them over on the ships.
I got to tell
They
you,
were good with the farms, keeping down the mice, the
Yeah.
rats.
got to tell you two more funny asides
I'm
from
ready.
my personal experience with cats.
Okay.
Going to Florida.
You took
You know
the
them
cat?
PSA officers or something? You know, the ones who screen you and all that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we took our two cats. We had two cats when we were going to go to Florida and live there in West Palm Beach at one time.
Oh, you
So-
mean on the airlines?
Yeah, so
Oh,
we
okay.
had to take our babies with us.
Of course.
We had two cats.
We
at
do
the
get
time.
calls. We're moving.
But and okay, so we get up to the PSA guy, and they're both in carriers like this. Take the cats out. We says, what? They said, take the cats out. I says, you don't think I would put anything in with my cats? If you don't take the cats out, you can't go on the airline.
Wow.
So we had to take. I says, what happens if they get so frightened and they run away? Oh, they're a feral cat. How insensitive can these people be?
I know. But you have to realize they're getting their orders from somebody else.
And in light of what's happening. But
And look at
who
the
would
dogs
put
that
a,
have...
a bomb in with their pet?
Well, listen, bombers bomb themselves.
Another funny story again
Okay,
with
I
our
want something
cats
funny.
going to Florida.
Yes.
Hey, you be a good girl.
I think
It's
she's
almost
doing that
over.
because she doesn't want it. She thinks she's going to get moved.
Okay. Another funny aside, and it was almost not a funny aside, with our cats in Florida. We're living in a condo that we rented for 3 months, but in our backyard, where we used to sun ourselves and everything, we had a screened-in porch, and both of our cats were on the screened-in porch. But behind our house was a canal, and we're eating dinner one night, and we hear some banging on the door, the screen door, so we opened it. The two cats made a beeline into the house, and my wife says, I wonder what's wrong with them, what frightened them. She opens the door and she closed it quickly. We see the eyes of an alligator who wanted to have the two of them for dinner. And you know what? That decided for us. Helped put the nail in the coffin. We didn't want Florida. We wanted to stay in our hometown of Peekskill, New York, where we have the four seasons.
I was just going to say.
Not a lot of bugs, not a lot of sharks in the water, and no alligators who want to eat our cats up. But tell me more about Little Orphan Animals before we're finished. We got 3 minutes left.
What else can I tell you?
People should volunteer.
Yes, people should volunteer. We have the thrift shop on Washington Street.
When is the fundraiser, the tag sale going to be?
April 27th from 10 to 3.
And where is it going to be held?
At the Cortland Community Center on Westbrook Drive.
Oh, that's the Morabito Center.
Correct.
And if they know where Curry Toyota is, it's right down the hill on the right-hand side.
If you go down the hill, it's on the left.
Okay, on the left. See, imagine I was in the Army and don't know my left from my right. When am I ever going to learn?
But yes, and we also have penny socials. They have a lot of different fundraisers, and we very often rent that spot. So.
And it's in a fine town, Cortland,
yes,
with a fine town supervisor,
yes,
Linda Puglisi.
Yes.
She truly cares about veterans, senior citizens, and it looks like animals, too.
Yes.
And I hear you do a little work for Peekskill, and that's very nice,
yes,
too.
Yes.
That's my hometown, and
I
you
know.
I want to make
and that's my
as
town.
far as nice as possible in the future.
Yes. People have to, volunteer.
Get along, volunteer.
Yep. There's volunteers for firemen.
I'm thinking about it. Maybe you'll get me as a volunteer. But if not, the door is always open for you, from your organization to come
promote
to promote these cats.
Right.
They are God's creatures.
That's right.
Right?
And we brought them here.
And they bring so much happiness to everyone.
Yeah.
Well, Susan Haywood of Peekskill.
Wood.
Haywood.
Yeah.
Not Ward.
No.
Not like the movie actress.
No.
You look a lot like
I
her.
was. I was Kisslinger most of my life.
Kisslinger?
Yes.
Kissinger or Kisslinger?
Kisslinger.
Well, my wife was Blessing most of her life till she met me and she became an Ondek.
See that?
But with that, we're just about to wrap up.
Okay.
Can you pick Fran's paw up and say goodbye to everybody?
Fran, say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. And please adopt me.
She's doing so
I'll
good.
be a good cat for you.
I just need
a
lap.
Be a perfect person for a retired person who has no other cats and needs a lot of love.
Right, Fran?
Better than a man.
That's right. What's the matter, Fran?
With that, thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait up. Thank you, baby.
He's got to.
Okay.
You got to kiss, Fran.
I feel like I want to take him home tonight. Will you let me?
Sure, if you want to give it a try.
No. I would like to. But till next time, this has been George Ondek, Susan Haywood of Little Orphan Animals. And remember, get some happiness in your life, adopt a pet.
Right.
And remember, all animals are God's creatures. We have to keep them to keep this beautiful world we have.
They're fellow earthlings.
Thank you. Thank you and good night, as Edward R. Murrow.
Yes.